They cannot make system.
Well,
They cannot.
I don't think that this is a weapon to attack, to use this kind of technology for this challenge.
Not only deep learning, but also they need a probability system and combine some technology combined to consider for that kind of system. But what I'm talking about, not like that one. Okay, this kind of system, a new system will going to be generated. Depends on based upon deep learning. Many of them, but those kind of system we can export to Malaysia, export to Vietnam, export to the rest of the world. Sort of things. Okay, this is skill, right? So Japanese to consider for that. If we can do in some establishing kind of sort of things, okay, we're going to increase employment, right? And many kind of opportunities.
So, but so then the next question is, where does Japan stand out in the world? So why would people turn to Japan to actually obtain products or services that are where Japanese industry, Japanese companies, Japanese people really stand out?
Oh, exactly. That is what we need to consider thinking about it.
Right.
What capability do we have?
So, well,
right?
basically, that I think if you want to understand that, so that's why I wrote down megatrends.
Like for example, okay, we don't need 80% of accountants, lawyers, and sort of people. How are we going to consider for those people, give them job opportunity from overseas?
That's
for example. Not simple, okay. Many kind of job styles is varied by different style. We will give them conclusion. Not simple answer, but how are we going to do that?
So basically, where does the future employment come from?
Your company.
I don't think it's not only
Dutch. You don't have any problem. You can communicate English and
we have plenty of problems. Thank you very much.
People can move around.
So that's true.
Okay, Japanese cannot do that. Japanese people cannot move around outside Japan. This is a problem. Only unique problem. America, United States, they don't have problem. Truck driver, they lost job, but they don't have any problem. They try to government can find them a job.
Well, there's a lot of Americans with a lot of problems,
But Japan is a more difficult issue.
Well, I think that relatively speaking, there are fewer Japanese with problems than there are Americans with problems, because Japan is a more equal society. So basically, we are in a less vulnerable situation than the United States. United States, they don't have this kind of solidarity within society. They have huge income gaps. And there are a lot of people already living in heavy debt. These countries in an economy that is as open as the United States, I think they have more problems than Japan.
Okay, my observation is they have a big Mississippi basin, okay, and they have lots of agriculture business there, and half population is already $25,000 of income. And half of population is low income already, but they do not have any problem. Of course, they just homeless people. They have
a lot,
million people they exist. But America they have lots of assets.
Yes.
For example, natural asset.
But
Japan has
in
no
the hands
asset.
of a few people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So if you look at from a far distance, then
Yeah.
it looks like America has plenty of opportunities. But if you look more carefully, then you will see that the United States actually has bigger problems than
solution
Japan.
is more easy. Like a GAFA for big companies, they got a lot of profit. They're going to try to consider for how to tax them, how to split those
Not
companies.
so easy because they are
Not easy, but
American companies anymore.
But Japanese is not kind of rich company, rich people. More difficult.
Yeah, but the assets are in the hands of the Japanese. The assets.
Do you know how
board.
much price is for the milk? How much price for the bread and butter is compared with Japan? They are 10 times cheaper.
Well, 10 times I don't know, but they're cheaper. Yeah.
Cheaper. So they can survive anyway. But in Japan, is currently we don't have kind of poor people. Everybody is a very middle,
Yeah, well, we do have poor
from
people.
now on, if we're going to unemployed people increasing, we cannot guess what's going to happen. Currently, everybody can find job, but next 3 to 5 years, they cannot find job. Lawyers, accountants, and those people who are large companies, middle class people. And do you know recently they tried to fire people because of indirect white collar labor. They don't need anymore like a bank. They don't need 10,000 people. They don't need to hire. So those people are going out their company. And as you know, the current the big problem is we need 30 million. It means how much? 30 million? 300,000 US dollars for life after 60.
Pension.
Retirement. They need 300,000 US dollars required until they die.
Pension. Yeah. Okay. So assets.
But many people they don't have so much money. It means they spend them all. So what happened? Right. So sort of things we consider. Okay, those kind of the government need to consider anyway. But the problem is unemployed people. How are we going to handle them? This is we need to thinking about that. We have Japanese company, small company. They have lot of skill and how to know how. So, but they cannot introduce outside Japan, right?
So I
For example, good example, medical company. I'm concerned medical company. I try to find out overseas market. Cannot. This company is very good product. Okay, and Japan is number one market. They have certain medicines. And even if I'm going to tell them, but they do not accept my offer.
Yeah, because they don't have a brand. I mean,
No, they don't have brand. In Japan, they have brand, but Japanese brand not effective for them.
How about Takeda, the biggest medical company in Japan?
they also go via M&A to establish brand. Everybody knows Takeda, but
But Takeda, like a Dainippon Printing, those companies not Japanese company.
Already.
Yeah. So we don't worry about those companies.
But this is one of the weakest things of Japanese companies, building a brand. Telling a story
especially
that is appealing to the outside world.
Yeah, the global brand it's almost impossible.
Or even within Japan. What is the brand story of Nissan? What is the brand story of Mitsubishi? There is no brand.
You're talking about in Japan?
Yeah.
No kidding.
What?
Everybody knows that.
They know Mitsubishi, but what do they associate Mitsubishi with? It's a big company. They do a lot. That's what they associate. But there is no certain feeling. There's not a feeling like Nike or Apple or there is no emotion involved. You need this emotion to actually look at the future and all the future product because it's from Mitsubishi. I want it.
Why?
I want my insurance, I want my banking, I want everything from Mitsubishi because it gives me a good feeling.
Why?
No, it doesn't exist.
Why?
Why? Because that's what you want to achieve as a company. That's what Nike is doing. They're investing very heavily in their brand so that people around the world attach emotion to what they're buying. They don't buy the product, they buy the story that the company is selling. That means that you create customer loyalty. Mitsubishi, their next product, if it's a good product, maybe they will buy it. Just based on the characteristics and the price of the product, people will decide to buy it, yes or no. There is no warm feeling about it. There is no association with it. There is no brand. But Nike, people will think, oh, it's a new Nike Air. They think, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm interested. I'm curious. I want to know more because I know what Nike stands for. I know their stories. I know what they associate with. I buy into that slogan. Just do it, and overcoming my fear.
You're talking about like a Uniqlo.
Yeah.
Uniqlo, I think they have a branding strategy. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you mean that Mitsubishi don't have any branding
No.
strategy?
No.
That's what you say, right?
Yes.
I'm talking about not like big company. I'm talking about small company. In Japan,
I thought we were
it's,
talking about basically how we can
in Japan, it's
increase employment.
Million Japanese small companies, 80-90% occupied in Japan.
Mm.
And those companies or lawyers, accountants, they're going to lose their job.
Yes.
This is an issue. Big Takeda or Uniqlo, they don't have any problem. Mitsubishi, they don't have any problem.
So where does the future employment come from?
Yeah,
that's what-
That's right. So this is my concern. If time goes by, okay, serious situation will come. And those people will go and teach English, it's impossible. But some new business, okay, some, institute or some organization will go to develop something overseas. And
So what we need to look at in order to look at the future for Japan,
what-
where they have opportunity,
only
is to look at
Japanese
what
unique.
are the unique situations in Japan, the
Only
unique
Japan
circumstances.
unique.
What can we export to the rest of the world that the world needs?
That exactly.
So what are the mega trends in Japan?
Exactly.
Okay, so mega trends in Japan, I think I just wrote down a few from the top of my head. Not that it's not exclusive. It's not like a renowned.
First of all, who can do it? Who? Consulting company?
No, that's not first of all. First, we need to see what we can do, and then how we can do it. Not how we can do it, and then what we can do. That's the wrong order. That's the how question. That's a question that you need to address later. First, you need to address
You said some Apple story. Did you study before?
Apple.
Yeah, Apple.
Well, Apple has a
No, just
brand
circle,
building.
Brand building circle. Do you remember? Steve Jobs said something.
Steve Jobs, was a master in branding.
We did something.
Mm.
Circle.
No, that was a different story. That was a story about what's his name, the sociologist, about the connection
Do you
between culture
remember?
and market.
Do you remember?
That's what's his name, a famous Dutch sociologist. That does not to do with Apple. What's his name? So if you Googled for, but it's a little bit, yeah, it has to do
Okay,
with,
one example in Vietnam, Fujitsu export how to breed vegetable in-house. And Japanese Fujitsu agriculture technology, IT technology. In Vietnam, the house. So
greenhouse.
Greenhouse.
Mm.
And greenhouse means no window, okay?
In
Just-
the building, right?
Huh?
In the building.
In the building.
For city growth or for what?
Yeah. No, suburbs. It's just no window, just house. They try to
With what purpose? Why would they want to grow something within?
24 hours they can breed just vegetables.
All right, but you can
Better than outside.
why?
I don't know. They have some fast, growing skill. They have.
You need to 24-hour put light on them. If you put them in glass house, you reduce that need to half.
Water consumption
would you-
and.
Why would you do that? But okay, well,
this
I
kind
don't
of,
know. Probably.
Efficiency is better than outside.
Maybe
And,
for certain
they
crops.
have no influence by the bugs or something. Bug. So and clean. Don't need to wash.
Or they don't use pesticides.
So something advantage they have. So that's the reason they export to Vietnam. So kind of technology skills we have. Okay, what we can deliver the kind of skill to outside Japan, and I don't know. Nobody's thinking about kind of we try to generate job opportunity here in Japan in the past.
No, I think many people are thinking about. There are many people who are trying. There's a lot of things.
Sure? No, we didn't in the past. You mean go outside? Many people did before, but nobody thinking about bringing to Japan. How to find a job in Japan? Nobody thinking about kind of environment.
Well, job creation in Japan.
Do we?
Foreign direct investment or autonomous growth?
Foreign investment, yes, they did before.
No. I mean, foreign direct investment from outside into Japan.
Very few.
Very few. Very little.
Very few. So we need to solve this solution. This is my message.
But why is the Japanese consumer interesting? I mean, basically.
No, not consumer. What I'm concerned is Japanese employment.
Yeah.
Job creation.
So
Trump said, okay.
Which companies
Trump
do want
said
to go?
In the States, American manufacturing, white collar job workers creation. He said, the same thing is we need to consider for Japanese people.
Can you tell me what Trump said, because I don't know what he said.
Trump is they try to recover the Rust Belt.
The Rust Belt.
Right, but never happened. But in Japan, we need to consider for how to create job, not consumer. Like we try to import product from overseas to how to penetrate the Japanese market. No. How to create job in Japan. This is a different aspect.
Okay, so one thing, then let's just skip this. One thing, for example, in Japan is that we're losing a lot. We will lose almost every job in agriculture because we're not competitive, right? We don't have the people in the countryside to work in agriculture, and basically we can import all the goods. But so what can we do in order to make sure that we keep agriculture in Japan and deal with the growing labor shortage? Because we don't want to allow mass immigration from China or Philippines or anywhere. So basically, what I expect...
one thing is we need to consider for the Asian people care system, and we are very shortage of people.
Yeah, so that's another example.
This is a job gap, okay, and like we are losing job, accountant, lawyers. But helpers for Asian people is different job. So at the one aspect we need to.
But we don't want helpers in Japan. We tried it. So we tried.
No, we should. Otherwise,
we should. But there are interest groups in Japan who don't want it, and they succeeded, and it happens like that all the time.
But to consider for next 10 years, I think anyway 1 million people we need to.
Yeah, but apparently, so there is this rent-seeking behavior in Japan. The group with the vested interest, they have a stronger interest than the elderly people. So we have people. We having an aging society. So these people need care. So the people who need care, they have an interest to bring more foreigners into Japan so that it can be looked after. But there is a group that has a stronger interest, and those are the nurses and the people who take care of the elderly. They are complaining that all these immigrants do not have the proper education, language skills, social skills to deal with Japanese people. So a lot of people came to Japan enthusiastically.
I understand, but these Nazis, those kind of people, they can solve this issue.
Well,